You weren't even hungry at dinner. You picked at it, left it half finished, told yourself that you were fine, and then somewhere around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, eating straight out of the container, standing at the counter with a fork because sitting down would mean admitting that this is a meal. Doesn't count if you're standing up, right? That's the rule we all apparently agree to without ever discussing it. If that's a Tuesday for you, some Tuesday, most Tuesdays, I'm not judging your Tuesdays. I need you to hear this. That's not a lack of discipline. That's not you being bad at eating. There's an actual mechanism behind why this happens. And once you see it, the counter starts making a lot more sense. I'm Debbie, a holistic nutritionist for 15 years. And what that means is that I look at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. Today, we're talking about why so many of us end up stress eating at night, why it's not about willpower, and what actually helps. Let's get into it. Here's what's actually going on. When you're stressed out and underfed for most of the day, and I mean genuinely underfed, not I had a small breakfast, I mean running on caffeine and adrenaline until dinner, underfed. Your body starts producing more cortisol to keep you functioning. Cortisol is useful in short bursts. It's a problem when it's elevated for hours on end because you skip lunch to referee a work call and a kid's homework crisis at the same time. By the time evening rolls around, your body's had enough. Blood sugar's been low all day, cortisol's been high all day, and your nervous system is essentially waving a white flag, sending out every hunger signal it has all at once. Usually right around the time when everyone else in the house has finally gone quiet. And that 9 p.m. craving isn't randomly timed. It's your body catching up on a debt that's been accumulating since 7 a.m. And here's the part that really gets me. It's rarely about the actual hunger for food. It's your nervous system looking for anything that feels like relief after a day of managing everyone else's needs before your own. Fast food is fast, available, and it doesn't ask for anything in return. Of course, it becomes the thing you reach for. If you're anywhere in your 40s or 50s, there's a decent chance you're not just managing your own day, you're managing kids, maybe aging parents, a job, a household, roughly 4 group chats demanding decisions from you before noon. That's the sandwich generation experience. And it means your stress load isn't occasional, it's constant and it's layered. This matters because chronic ongoing stress behaves differently than one single bad day. One stressful day, your body recovers. Weeks or months or years of it, and your baseline cortisol just stays elevated, which keeps that hunger and craving system on the high alert far more often than it should be. So the 9 p.m. counter thing feels like it's happening more than it used to. That's not you getting worse at this. That's your stress load being genuinely heavier and more relentless than it was a decade ago. And I want to be really clear about this because I think a lot of us turn this into a food problem when it's actually a day problem. The 9 p.m. eating isn't the issue. It's the symptoms showing up at the end of a chain of events that started way earlier in the day. Skipped or rushed meals, no real breaks, stress piling up with nowhere to go, and then finally at night, when things go quiet, your body cashes in the bill. Treating it as a food problem means that you white knuckle through cravings, feeling like a failure when you don't, and start the whole cycle again tomorrow with the same underfed, overstressed day. Treating it as a day problem means that you actually fix the thing that's driving it. So here's where we get practical, because awareness alone doesn't stop you from standing at that counter. Eat real meals earlier in the day on purpose, even when it feels like there's no time. Breakfast and lunch with actual protein in them, like eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils, chicken, tofu, whatever you'll actually eat, do way more to prevent the 9 p.m. spiral than anything you could do at 9 p.m. itself. A rushed piece of toast at 7 a.m. is not going to hold you over till dinner, and your body will absolutely let you know about this later. Protein specifically matters here because it keeps blood sugar steadier than a processed carb-only breakfast will, and steadier blood sugar means fewer of those sharp cortisol spikes throughout the day. This is not about cutting carbs. It's about not starting your day on straight sugar and coffee and expecting your nervous system to hold its shit together for 12 hours. Build in actual pauses during the day, even short ones. 5 minutes without a screen, a phone call, or a demand from another human being. I know how that sounds when your day is already fully booked, but this isn't optional self-care shit. These small breaks are what keep cortisol from climbing all day unchecked, which is a big part of what's driving that nighttime crash in the first place. And when the 9 p.m. cravings do hit, ask yourself one honest question before you're standing at the counter. Is this actual hunger, or is this the first quiet moment you've had all damn day? Sometimes it's genuinely both, especially if you're running on caffeine and sugar all day long. But naming it is what's actually happening a lot of the time, and it takes the shame out of it, and that shame is not a useful ingredient in any of this. Sometimes that 9 p.m. craving is actually both, and that's fine. Sit down, and I mean sit down, and actually eat something, preferably something with protein, but not gorge yourself so that you can't fall asleep. And a few other things that help. Hydration matters way more than people expect it to. A lot of what feels like a craving is actually your body quietly being dehydrated after a day of running on coffee and not much water. Try water first, see if the urgency actually settles even a little bit. Magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, that kind of thing can help support your nervous system generally, since magnesium plays a role in how your body handles stress. Nothing dramatic, just one more piece of the bigger picture. And honestly, sometimes the fix is just going to bed earlier. A lot of that late night eating is also just a tired brain looking for one more hit of dopamine before the day actually ends. If you're exhausted and stressed, food becomes the easiest available comfort in the house. Sleep doesn't replace food, but it does quiet down a lot of that nighttime noise. So I want to push back hard on the advice that a lot of us grew up hearing, which was essentially just don't. Just don't eat late. Just don't snack. Just white knuckle it until bedtime. That advice is shit. It ignores everything that is actually happening underneath the craving. Telling someone with genuinely depleted blood sugar and an elevated stress hormone to just have more discipline is like telling someone whose smoke alarm that's going off to just turn it off and go back to sleep and ignore the damn fire. The alarm isn't the problem. It's doing its job, very loudly, mind you, because something upstream needs attention. This matters because so many of us have spent years quietly blaming ourselves for something that was never a discipline issue in the first place. If you've white-knuckled your way through a craving out of sheer stubbornness, only to end up eating twice as much the next night because your body kept the tab running, that's not personal failure. That's exactly what an underfed, overstressed nervous system does when it finally gets the fucking chance. None of this requires a total life overhaul, which I know is a relief because none of us have time for one. It looks like a real breakfast instead of coffee and good intentions, and a lunch that you actually sit down for, even if it's only 10 minutes, instead of eating over the sink while reading 3 group chats at once, one 5-minute pause somewhere in the afternoon where nobody needs anything from you. And I'm not talking about going to the bathroom and taking your damn phone with you either. And dinner that's an actual meal, not a placeholder you're planning to make up for later with whatever's in the fridge at 9 p.m. Do that consistently, and the counter starts feeling less magnetic because your body isn't spending the whole damn evening trying to recover from a day it never got properly fed through. If you're standing at that counter more nights than you'd like to admit, I want you to actually hear this. It is not willpower failure. It's a day that asked way more of you than it gave back. Feed yourself properly, build in real pauses, and stop treating the 9 p.m. moments as the problem instead of the symptom. Fix the day and the counter gets a lot damn quieter. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more No BS nutrition advice, and I'll see you in the next one.